Hello, everybody. Welcome to the newly rebranded Double Shot LOTR TCG channel. Appreciate you watching. I wanted to do a quick video today talking about the PSA POP report or population report and how to find the different POP reports for this trading card game and some of it's a little bit tricky with the way they have it structured. So I wanted to run through that real quick. If you're not familiar with the PSA POP report, it's basically a categorized list of all Lord of the Rings or any type of card that has been graded with PSA. It's logged. It tells you um, how many different grades of a certain card have been produced. So if you grade a card and it gets a PSA 10, you can see how many other PSA 10s exist, or how many 9s, or how many 8s, and so on and so forth. You can see foil, non-foil, and all of that. So I've found some kind of unique circumstances with these pop reports for Lord of the Rings TCG. And so I kind of wanted to go through and show you guys how to find what you're looking for. If you're interested in knowing if a card has been graded before or how many copies, and you can find that. So coming over here, you can see if you just go to psacard.com, or if you just Google PSA Pop Report, it'll bring you right over here. When I first started searching for this is the first place I went, as I just typed in Decipher Lord of the Rings. And you can see the various lists that pop down here. So we have 2001, Decipher Lord of the Rings Fellowship. You can also see, and this is important, that these are categorized in the non-sports cards category. So one of the issues I've found with the pop report is that you'll have the same set, like the Two Towers and Return of the King, which have non-sports cards categorized and TCG cards categorized in different categories. So unfortunately, what that means is if you search Return of the King, typically only one of those is going to pop up, and you have to search a different way to find the other half of the cards that exist out there that have been graded. And again, I'm going to cover that today. So you can see all of these ones that are popping up are categorized in the non-sports cards category. So if you click on the hyperlink for Fellowship of the Ring, this will pop up. So you can see, again, the name of the set in the pop report is 2001. They always start with the year and then the name of the company of production, Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring. So you can see there's been 331 graded cards in this category. 11 of those are autographed cards. And then if you scroll down, you can see the cards listed here. So they're not always in order. I don't know how they do it exactly. It's not always listed by card number. It's not always listed alphabetically. Some of it seems kind of random. But you can see, we have the set number 1, the rarity, which is common, and the set number within the set. So card number 2, sorry, I should say the card number. And then we have the 1 ring. And if you look over to the right, you can see there's 1 PSA 4, 1 PSA 7, 1 PSA 9, 2 PSA 10s. So there's 5 graded copies out there in the universe of the 1 ring non-foil common card, and 2 PSA 10s. And then if we go down to the next one in line, you can see this is the foil version. There's 1 8 and 2 10s. So there's only 3 graded foil common rings out there. And you can see, if you look at the very top, you've got a summary of the total population. So out of those 331 cards graded, only 23 are PSA 10s. So that's a 7% gem rate. Obviously, this is a mix of non-foil and foils. Non-foils are going to have a much easier time grading a 10, and they're much more common, so it's going to be easier to find a mint copy for a lot cheaper to send away for grading. So obviously you can see our first two PSA 10s are non-foil, the One Ring. And if you go down and kind of just follow this line, we can see some other ones. So then we have the One Ring, the rare version, Isildur's Bane. There's one PSA 10. There's also a PSA 10 foil copy of Isildur's Bane out of 17 graded. I have a PSA 8 copy. So one of these 8/8s is mine that I pulled straight from the pack. You can see we've got Gimli here, Gimli's axe, Gimli's helm. Nobody tosses a dwarf. There's a PSA 10 of that, non-foil. You guys get the picture though. So if you're looking for, information on Fellowship, you're going to find it right here. So going back here, you've also got some promo cards from 2002. So you can see the promo cards, if you're searching for promos, it's going to be by year. So you're going to want to know what year you're looking for and search that way. So, but in this year category, we've got 9 PSA 10s. You've got the DVD set here, Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli. There are no PSA 10s of Gimli, 9 11s. So for whatever reason, I don't know if the Gimli's on the front or on the back, or it gets scratched up more often, but hard to get a 10. So you can see there's been 12 copies or 4 sets of each. I've graded one of those sets. I got a 9 and a 2/8, I think. I think I got a 9 on the Aragorn, which you can see seems to be in the best condition coming out of that pack for whatever reason. And then I think I got 8s of the Gimli and Legolas. So, yeah. And then we've got Faramir, Eowyn, and the Mouth of Sauron. Kind of random there. One copy of that. So 41 total cards graded, with most of those being the DVD set. You've got some more Decipher 2003 promos. You've got Ents of Fangorn down here. You've got the Tangwar cards. So this is, you'll see it's the same set name, Decipher Lord of the Rings Fellowship, but it's 2003. And these are just the Tangwar or Elvish cards from the anthology set. And there's actually quite a few 10s here. I believe someone on eBay is selling the complete set, with most of those being a pop 1 in a PSA 10. Most of these only have 1 copy graded, period. So you can see there's been 4 copies of the One Ring, but most of these other ones, there's only 1 graded copy ever, and most of those got a 10. So but that set is out there for sale if anyone's interested. I'm not selling it, it's not mine. So we've got the Tangwar cards, then we've got Return of the King. So Return of the King is one of the sets I wanted to highlight because this is not the total population. So the Two Towers is the one. You can see some cards there. So going down, you've got more Decipher promos from 2004. You've got Mount Doom. You've got Reflections. You've got Shadows, Siege of Gondor. You've got the Countdown Collection promos, Black Rider. Then you've got some top sets in between here. But if you keep scrolling down, you've got Mines of Moria, Realms of the Elf Lords, and the Two Towers. So one of the things you guys will notice is that there's some missing sets. So Siege of Gondor, Battle of Helm's Deep is not in this list. Siege of Gondor is right here. So there's no Battle of Helm's Deep on this list. So if you only search this, you will not find that, even though there is 32 graded cards from Battle of Helm's Deep. You also won't find any of the later sets. So you won't find anything past Black Rider. So if you're looking for Bloodlines, if you're looking for Hunters, Rise of Saruman, Treachery and Deceit, or Age's End, or the Wraith Collection, you're not going to find those here. I wanted to zoom in on the two towers real quick here. So right now it's showing an error for some reason. Can't find the page on the two tower set. But real quick, just notice the name here, right? So this does not have the decipher in the name before the Lord of the Rings. And this is a non-sports category. So I want to show you the other way you can search the pop report in order to find the other sets. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go back to research, click on population report, and then we're going to come down here. So all of those sets we just looked at are categorized under non-sports cards, which in my opinion is the wrong category. Decipher Lord of the Rings is a TCG. It should be under TCG cards. I actually have an email out with PSA to try to fix some of these errors that I'm going to go over, but we're going to go to the TCG cards. And then we're going to have to search by year, and then we'll be able to find our sets. So this goes back to 1990. So if you want, you can just scroll down and find the year, or you can just search it in the box. So I'm going to go to 2002 since we're looking for those two towers cards that are missing. And if we click on the year, it's going to be in alphabetical order, so we don't have to go too far to find Decipher. So right here, you can see we have the Mines of Moria, which we saw on the other page. But you'll notice that these are all labeled Decipher Lord of the Rings. So it's not missing. And then we've got Realms of the Elf Lords, we've got promos, Fellowship of the Ring, one card, and then we have the two towers here. So there's actually two towers cards on two different pages, and you need to combine those numbers together if you want to see the total population. So we have 180 cards here, but this one is named 2002 Decipher Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers. I believe what has happened is that a lot of the cards that were graded for Lord of the Rings, going all the way back to 2001, I have no idea who graded the first Lord of the Rings card. Probably somebody did way back when. But, over the years, probably from 2001 till 2019 or 2020, all of those were under the umbrella of the non-sports card, kind of the all-in-one category for anything non-sports. And then I think more recently, in the last 2 or 3 years since I've been grading, they've been putting the cards under the TCG label, and they've been including this Decipher in the name of the set. And so that unfortunately has had the byproduct effect of creating all new categories, even though we want to have all the cards together. Hopefully that makes sense, what I'm trying to explain here. But you can see that we can now find the two towers. And this does match my total. I'm actually wondering right now in the moment if my email worked and they fixed this, and that's why the other page doesn't exist anymore, because it's all under this page. And if so, that's really cool. I do have a note on my phone. I try to keep up to date on the total cards graded for each set. And it says 180 cards in my phone, and that matches this page. So for all I know, they actually combined the pages and they fixed the problem that I emailed them about, which is great. So, but yeah, scrolling down here, you can see a bunch of these. This Aragorn Heir to Elendil is one that I graded. I think got the 9 there. Kill Them Now. I have a copy of that. What else here? One Ring. I don't have a graded copy of the One Ring from this set. There's a PSA 10 Sour Man non-foil. But yeah. So again, this is going to the TCG tab and searching by year. And then I also wanted to show some of the sets that were not on that other page at all. So if we go to 2003, then we can find the Battle of Helm's Deep set. So right here, you can see We have Battle of Helm's Deep. We have Ensa Fangorn. We have more the Tangwar Elvish cards, promo cards, and we also have Return of the King. I don't know why this is here. You'll see some weird random categories with like one card. So this is labeled as Lord of the Rings starter. This is not a correct label because really the only cards that should be labeled starter are the ones where the rarity says S, and that did not happen, I believe, until Shadows, where you had fixed cards in the starter decks that never changed. And so they just decided to recategorize those with the S rarity for starter or standard or something like that. So this really shouldn't have its own category for this set. And I don't believe anyone's actually graded a true starter card from those later sets. So until that happens, this shouldn't exist. But again, we can't expect PSA to be experts in this particular trading card game, and they've got a lot on their plate, obviously, without worrying about us. But I am trying, since I'm big into grading these cards, I am trying to kind of get them to clean this stuff up a bit. So we'll take a quick look at Battle of Helm's Deep here. Some of these cards I graded fairly recently. I'm still waiting for them to add this to the set registry, if anyone's familiar with that. But I graded this Legolas here. They got an 8. This one, actually, no, I got a 9. I pulled that straight from a pack, so that was good. What else? Gollum, I think I graded. I don't know if I graded the rare one. This PSA 10 Berserk Savage, I own that. This Grima PSA 9, I have that one. Dead Marshes, I graded that one. Grishnok, that's not mine. Yeah, so a few of these I graded myself in this report, but only one PSA 10 out of 32 cards, so not great. 3% Gem 10 rate. So let's go. I can show you guys some of the later sets. So I believe we need to go to 2005 for Bloodlines. Again, just scroll down until you find Decipher. So we've got Black Rider, Bloodlines, some more promo cards. Quite a few promo cards we'll check out real quick from 2004. So you'll have the 0D cards, some of those in here, which is pretty cool. You can see there's only 2 PSA 10s. There's a Bilbo, 0D8, one of the Decipher cards that got a PSA 10, so that's pretty cool. And then Ulair Toldea, Black Shadow is the other one it looks like. So we got some Black Rider cards, Sting, Pippin, Legolas, Isildur, Covetous Uruk from the Hunter set. So yeah, a bunch more promo cards in here. So the promo cards are going to be divided again by year, and it's basically going to be 2001, 2002 through 2005 was the last one. So there's 98 total promo cards that have been graded, and 12 of those are PSA 10s. So if anyone's curious. Also, there's approximately 1,582 total Lord of the Rings TCG cards when I last checked, with 145 PSA 10s. I'm not dividing between foil and non-foil. Like I said earlier, non-foils are going to grade better on average, but that's about a 9% 10 rate. So roughly, if you send in 20 cards and you check them out really good and make sure that they're grade worthy, you might get 1 or 2 10s out of that on average. Yeah, if you search 2005, you will see Bloodlines here. 80 cards graded, 9 autographed cards with 5 PSA 10s. You can see there's a Celeborn Masterworks, which is very impressive. Galadriel Masterworks, Palando Masterworks, and then we've got 2 copies of Deagle. I actually own one of these copies, the rare foil, and that is it for PSA 10s for that set. And then we'll go to 2006 for later sets. We're going to get into the Hunters block. So you've got the Hunters here, 73 cards graded, 0 PSA 10s. So Hunters, I guess the manufacturing process was a bit more rough because there's not a lot of PSA 10s here. So there's none actually. And you can see there's a lot of non-foils that people have tried grading here. I've actually opened a box of Hunters in the last 10 years and, saved all the copies, in mint condition. So I'm hoping to grade some probably non-foils even, and hoping that they may get a 10 because those cards are hard to come by, especially in good condition. But we have the Hunters there. You've got the Wraith collection. This is another tough one. I believe I spoke to a gentleman in the Facebook group that graded most of these or all of these, trying to get, some good copies. And as you can see, everything has come back either a 7 or an 8. So there's not even a 9 of any of these 6 cards. So, even if you have a sealed pack of them, they're just not well cut. They're almost always off-centered, and because they're stacked in a looser pack than a booster pack, they can move around a lot, and they've been in those packs for 20 years now at this point, rubbing on each other and causing damage. So if you want to grade the Wraith collection, just beware that's going to be a tough grade. And then our last year will be 2007. And we can see some different categories here. So we have Ages End, set 19, only 6 cards graded here. So we've got a couple copies of the One Ring, Gandalf, Aragorn. 3 of those got 9s. So these are coming out in better condition, it looks like. Obviously, not a lot of grades to look at with this report, but I will probably end up grading a full set at some point. So we'll see. And then you can see for the Rise of Saruman, it says Legends. So these are all Masterworks and rare foils here. So no one has graded a non-foil card in this category. But there's a PSA 10 foil Theoden out there. Very cool. And that is the only 10 out of 72 cards. So, several copies of Masterworks have been graded. None of the Masterworks have even got a 9. Ring of Savagery, we have a 9 here. So we have one Masterworks 9. There's a foil Faramir 9, Throne of Minas Tirith 9, Aragorn 9, 10 and 9 Theoden. So going to be tough grades with those Masterworks and Legends for sure. And then we have Treachery and Deceit here. So 88 cards, a little bit better with Treachery and Deceit. We've got 7 PSA 10s. Obviously, a few more cards have been graded here. So you've got Galadriel's Silver Ewer, rare foil, Radagast Urbag, rare foil, Crown of Gondor, rare foil, Rohirrim Diadem, rare foil, Freddie Bolger, rare foil, Sting, rare foil, Pull of the Ring, rare foil. So the rare foils are doing okay. Masterworks are still pretty tough, but you've got 29s here as well. So you're definitely getting a little bit better. And somebody graded a 4. Darwin's bow. That's kind of funny. Need a low ball category. Um, I think that's pretty much it. I think if you use those two searches, you'll pretty much be able to find everything from these sets. Um, so yeah, I think that's pretty much it for what I wanted to show you. If you guys have any questions about finding a card on the PSA Pop Report, definitely leave a comment. I'd be happy to reach out and try to help you. I've spent a lot of time on this website looking at these over the years, and I'm pretty familiar with everything. If you notice an error, maybe you've graded cards yourself and you can't find the ones that you've graded. I've run into that as well. Or you just want to know, have any questions, reach out. But I think that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching this. I like doing graded content and hoping to produce more of it. I believe as of this recording, I am 4 subscribers away from 100, which is a lot of fun. So if you haven't subscribed and you're watching this, I would certainly appreciate it. And I'm going to be doing a pretty special box opening of the expanded Middle Earth set 14, which you'll notice was not on this pop report because no one's graded any, and I might be the first one. But once we hit 100 subscribers on the channel, I will be doing that box opening. Should be a lot of fun. So please subscribe if you would like to. But yeah, that is all. We'll see you later.